We're gonna get right into this. Excuse me, guys. I've been getting over allergies slash a cold, and it's been kicking my butt. So if I have to clear my throat every now and then, that's why. And I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for that in advance. But without further ado, we're gonna be discussing D23 and basically the major Marvel announcements, specifically the X-Men casting. And I'm also gonna do kind of a two for one here. We're also gonna be discussing the first episode of the Lanterns show that dropped, the latest edition in the DCU. And I'll go ahead and say it right now. We're going to save the Lanterns review until the end. Just, so people can come in, watch the live stream, have fun. However, for the Lanterns review, there will be spoilers for episode one. So if you haven't seen it, just feel free to watch this first part. I'll let you guys know when we start talking about lanterns. And of course, this will be up in like the next day or so for you guys to come back and hear my thoughts on that episode if you haven't already seen it. But yeah, without further ado, I'm ready to just jump right into this, guys. And let's talk about D23. Obviously, it was a pretty big event, as you guys know, or if you don't know, it's basically Comic Con, but solely for Disney stuff. They talk a lot of stuff about the parks and about upcoming shows and movies, which is what a lot of people come here to, learn about. And they gave us the first trailer for Vision Quest, which outside of Daredevil Born Again season 3, I think, don't hold me to this, but I think it's the only live action Marvel show that they actually have announced that we know is in production. I know there's been a lot of rumors recently that the live action side, at least, of Disney Plus Marvel may be disbanded. I really hate to see it because I really think that the TV side of Marvel has started to find their footing quite a bit. I've enjoyed Daredevil Born Again seasons 1 and 2. I thought Wonder Man was quite a big surprise. Didn't love it as much as some people did, but I still quite enjoyed it. I think it's one of their better shows for sure. So, all of that to say, I don't know if this is like one of the last original shows that we'll get, but I do know that Vision Quest is supposed to wrap up the trilogy that started with WandaVision. You had Agatha all along, and now we're capping it all off with Vision Quest. And I gotta say, the trailer for this looks like a lot of fun. It really looks like it has the zaniness of WandaVision and kind of the unpredictability, for lack of a better term, of Agatha all along. Both shows of which I really enjoyed. So Vision Quest to me certainly looks like a lot of fun. It's great to see White Vision back. I wonder, it really does remind me, and like the more I think about this, the more it really does remind me of WandaVision. And I'm hoping it sticks landing a little bit better than WandaVision, but at the same time, I mean, just the wackiness of it, it's got this very much like Rick and Morty esque vibe. Like, I can't really tell you what is actually going on in this trailer. And I think that's a great thing at the end of the day. It's so great to see Spader back as Ultron, almost like this father son show is what it's kind of giving, and I'm here for it. If you guys don't remember in Avengers Age of Ultron, we, of course, the reason Jarvis is now Vision is because of Ultron. So I love this kind of almost in a weird way, this father son dynamic that they're playing on in the trailers. So yeah, I'm really sold on this show. I can't wait for it. That was a really big one for me. Super excited for October 14th, I believe, is when this comes out. And then obviously, we have to talk about next up the Avengers Doomsday trailer. It was so peak. Like, I'd seen the leak trailer. I think they showed it at Comic Con or something like that, I believe. And I'd seen, the really like crappy iPhone footage of it. And so I didn't get all the dialogue. I knew some stuff like the scene where Thor's like, "You will beg for hell long before I grant it," and Doctor Doom is like, "Hell answers to me." Like, I'd heard all of that stuff, and I knew the actual trailer stuff. But seeing it in HD, so good. I mean, I think this was far better than the first trailer. Not saying the first trailer was bad in and of itself, but you guys kind of know my thoughts. I think I did a whole live stream just for that first trailer because it was such a big moment. And I was a little bit underwhelmed just because it seemed like it was showing us all the characters and we didn't know the first thing about the actual story. This, I think, gave us the perfect amount of giving us a backstory to Doctor Doom, kind of setting the stage for here's the threat and then kind of building out around that. And so I just think overall the Avengers Doomsday trailer, or this, I guess they called it the special look, much much better than the first one. I loved it. I mean it, and I've already got my tickets for like opening night. I mean, this movie is going to be great. I fully trust the Russos. I think Doctor Doom looks great. I think RDJ is going to really surprise us all. So yeah, I mean, it goes without saying, the special only raised my hype for this as well. And kind of moving on to obviously the big announcement in terms of Marvel at D23, we finally got the official cast for the X-Men film. I know a lot of people have talked about this at length. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of just blurt out the names real quick. I wrote them down here. You obviously have Kit Connor as Cyclops. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say, aside from like one or two of these, I can't think off the top of my head too many movies or shows that I've seen these characters in. So I can't go off of their acting skill alone. I'm just going out, I guess you could say more so off of how I actually see these characters, play, or how I see these actors playing these characters. I'm sure I've probably seen a lot of them in at least one or two things. I'm never good at remembering the names of actors, more so the characters that they play. But yeah, starting off, Kit Connor as Cyclops. Looks cool to me. It looks like they're really going for a younger cast overall for the X-Men, even younger than what we've gotten like the earlier Fox X-Men trilogy. So yeah, I mean, he looks the part. I'm excited to see what he's gonna do with the character. Cyclops is probably my second favorite, like actual X-Man after Wolverine. So super pumped to see what they're gonna do with him. Christopher Abbott as Professor X. I feel like I have seen this man in something. I cannot for the life of me think of what it is. I am gonna say this is one that it honestly kind of I feel a little oh, hey LaFredo, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Um I just feel with Christopher Abbott, I don't know if he looks the part to me. I'm sure I've seen him in something. Again, it's not coming to me at the top of my head, but I just don't know if he looks the part of Professor X. Like he just, I don't know. I guess going out from obviously Patrick Stewart, who I think is still the best Professor X, to obviously James McAvoy, who gave a very different but still very definitively Professor X performance. I just don't know if I'm quite sold on Christopher Abbott playing this role, but Marvel rarely miscast people. I mean, there's maybe only one or two instances where I'm like, I don't know if that person fits the role. I mean, most recently Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. I had my doubts on that, but he ended up greatly surprising me. I don't think he's like you know, as irreplaceable to Reed Richards as RDJ is to Iron Man or something like that. But at the end of the day, I still think he gave a really good performance. He sold me on it, and I can't wait to see him and the rest of the Fantastic Four in Doomsday. So I say all of that to say, I'm sure I'm going to change my mind. I'm sure when this movie comes out, Christopher Abbott is going to give us a fantastic performance as Professor Xavier. Just where it stands now, I'm a little more mixed on this. And then Samara Weaving, I hope I'm saying that name right, as Emma Frost. Perfect casting, absolutely looks the part. I'm sure she's going to absolutely kill it in this role. And then obviously the big one here, Indy Neverett as Rogue. Look, I mean, Obsession, I saw that movie. I think I did a review for it on this channel too. Indy Neverett's performance is like borderline Oscar worthy. I mean, she gives I would say, screw it, I'll say it, one of the top 5 best performances this decade of any show, any movie. I mean, it is that freaking good. And so my excitement for her playing Rogue isn't necessarily like she's going to be a great Rogue, but it's more so I've seen what this actor can do. I cannot wait to see what she does in relation to playing as Rogue. Hey, what's up, Jeffrey? Glad you're here, my friend. But yeah, so Indy Neverett, I hope I'm saying that name right. I'm just not good saying names, unfortunately. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm just her acting chops alone has me really excited for what she's going to do with this character. I know some people are like, well, how are we going to get kind of the more southern slash country esque accent? I think we're still going to get it here. She's an actress after all, so she's going to be able to sorry, guys. If you missed me earlier, I'm getting over a cold, so I may cough a little bit. Just bear with me. But yeah, all of that to say, Indy Neverett is. Oh, your name is Lucas. You're just on your dad's account. That was Jeffrey. Okay, that sounds good, man. Glad you're here, my friend. But yeah, so Indy Neverett is Rogue. Sold on it. I think she's gonna crush it. Maya Boyd as Storm. I'll give her a chance. I don't know this actress at all. I think I heard from someone that she's like a Broadway performer or something. So we'll see how she does. I feel pretty neutral on this one. I'm just like, we'll see. I mean, she I think she'll give a fine performance. Again, I trust Marvel's casting, some of the most consistent casting probably of any major franchise. So yeah, I'll go with it, sure. And then obviously the next biggest one is Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister. I know there were a lot of rumors. This was only like 2 or 3 weeks ago that Adam Driver might be playing Magneto. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't exactly sold on it. So, hearing that he's playing Mr. Sinister, I think this is a role that much more suits him. I know he was almost about to be cast as Reed Richards, I believe, in the Fantastic Four film. Definitely didn't see him in that at all. So, I'm glad that Marvel Studios really found a role for Adam Driver that seems to fit his personality and his charisma and all of that. So, I think Adam Driver is going to do a really great job playing Mr. Sinister. And then, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all for the D23 side. I mean, we got other stuff like the Ahsoka Season 2 trailer, which I think the first season of Ahsoka is okay. It's nothing to write home about, in my opinion, but I do think this new Ahsoka Season 2 trailer was quite good, and I'm obviously going to check it out. Comes out, I believe, like January 20th of next year or something like that. And then they announced, like, they gave us a kind of semi first look at Incredibles 3, which, first Incredibles, one of my absolute favorite films of all time. Like, not just in animation, but in general. Will probably always be a top 10 movie of all time for me personally. And then Incredibles 2, I've really come to love that movie over the years, but it's just not Incredibles 1, and that's really the biggest knock I can give it. I don't think the villain works. I think mind control is just a little more generic than what they tried to do with the first Incredibles movie. So for me, that's kind of what keeps it back, even though once again, I think with Incredibles 2, the family stuff is fantastic. But I am excited to see what they're going to do with Incredibles 3. I think they showed us like a first look of like the Simpsons movie 2 or something to that effect. I mean, that'll be cool as well. I enjoy the first Simpsons movie well enough, and I've seen several episodes, both older and newer, of the show. So yeah, I'm sure I'll give that a watch as well. But yeah, I mean that's really all I got for the D23 side. Let me see if I missed anything. If anyone has any comments regarding see regarding D23 before I move on to the Lanterns series. Yep, doesn't look like we have anything at the moment. All good. We can always go back at the end if we get more people on this live stream, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions. So yeah, kind of moving on to Lanterns. I'm going to give my first impressions of this. Again, like I said before, say it one more time. This will have some spoilers in it, so if you want to go in cold turkey, go watch the episode and then come back and we're going to talk some spoilery details about the first episode of Lanterns. Now, this has been, obviously, if you guys have been keeping up, a very controversial show. This is a show that even me, somebody who is a diehard Green Lanterns fan, who really, really was hoping that they would get these characters right. I had my reservations. I think the last trailer, like the final trailer, whatever they called it, the most recent, like, full-fledged trailer they did a couple weeks before the show came out, I thought that looked really great. I was like, okay, this kind of sold me on the show. The other trailers, I was kind of more excited about the potential of what the show could do than the actual trailers themselves. It didn't really do a lot to excite me, unfortunately. And so I didn't really know what to expect when I sat down to watch Lanterns. I knew it had been getting some really good reviews, so I was overall pretty excited for it. And I've seen the episode twice now, and I do have to say, I think this is honestly terrific. I mean, I think it's a really darn good pilot episode to the newest edition of the DCU. I have some little qualms with it. I'm a little more worried because the way they set this show up isn't necessarily bad in and of itself, but there's a lot of ways they could take this that would be really cool, and there's a lot of ways they could take this direction, the show, that, in a certain direction that I think would be absolutely terrible and not what the DCU needs right now. So I'm just saying all of that to say I really enjoyed the first episode in and of itself. I think it is a lot of fun. I think the Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart dynamic is just it's addicting to watch. I mean, just watching their banter back and forth, I really think it's the highlight of the show. Reminds me a lot in a way of almost like Sam and Bucky, almost kind of like the passive aggressiveness they have toward each other. And obviously, it's just fun to kind of see the inverted trope where it's actually the trainer who is more reckless, brash, and kind of making up rules as he goes along, and the trainee is wanting to do it more by the book. And so it's such an interesting dynamic to have friction there. It also looks like they're teasing that Hal Jordan is going to be pretty jealous of passing on the ring to Jon Stewart, and I'm kind of ready to see the, I guess you could say, conflict, for lack of a better term, that's going to be at play in these next few episodes at least. That said, I want to know if anyone watching this live stream at the moment, what you guys might think regarding the last couple minutes of this episode where it looks like Hal Jordan is been killed. I don't know if, like, I'd personally think he's going to come back sooner or later. I think it might be at the end of the season. I think it might even be in season 2. There's a lot of rumors he could become Parallax or something like that, and I could see that happening as well. But I definitely think he's going to be dead for the next several episodes, and I think a lot of what we see, because we've obviously gotten a lot of stuff with him that we've seen in the trailer that was not in this first episode. Even the like, this season on Lanterns thing that they always do on HBO Max for their shows in the beginning of the new season. They had a lot more of Hal Jordan as well. So I think we're going to get flashbacks, as this is basically a sprawling story. In just the first episode, it spanned like 30 years. So we're going to get a lot more Hal Jordan. I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I'm very curious to see just kind of this relationship, how it's built over the years, and how Jordan has evolved as a hero, and maybe how he's, again, not ready to give it over to Jon Stewart, the ring over to Jon Stewart, I should say, because to him, Jon Stewart is the one. He even says this in like the first few minutes of the first episode, where he says something to the effect of, the Guardians chose him, and he feels like he's kind of more, or Jon Stewart is more entitled. And so definitely I'm really excited to see how that plays out. I hope we get a lot more green and cosmic and kind of more actual Green Lantern stuff than just kind of True Detective / Yellowstone in the DCU. But again, I kind of expected going in, this is what at least the first few episodes were going to be like. So at the end of the day, I quite enjoyed it for what it was. I would say in a lot of ways it kind of even surpassed my expectations. I've heard people say the season is just going to get better and better as it goes along, which is something that truly does excite me as a fan of not just Green Lantern, but of DC in general. We really need DC to start cooking with some of these characters and to get broad appeal with characters that aren't Batman, Superman, and maybe Wonder Woman. So if Green Lantern can be added to the mix, then it can become the next Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever, where it becomes, where these characters like Hal or John become household names. I'd absolutely love that. But yeah, I mean, the interrogation scene between Hal Jordan and the alien guy, really well done. You don't know who Barack Hussein Obama is. Like, great line. I mean, just the writing in the show. I'm not saying it's like, as the best writing I've ever seen in a show, but it's just very tight. It's quippy, but it's not quippy. Like, when the quips happen, they're actually really funny and they're well earned. And, but 90% of the show isn't joking around. It's just really good chemistry. I really can't wait to see how the relationship with Jon Stewart and his father plays out. I mean, when, that first few minutes where Jon Stewart's dad shoots the apple off his head, trying to train him to not be afraid of anything. Just, again, really great all around. I can't wait to see what they're going to do going forward with this episode, with these characters. So, yeah, overall, in a thumbs up, thumbs down world, I'm going to give it a solid thumbs up. It was a pretty good first episode. I'm not going to do a rating or anything, just because I don't usually rate singular episodes unless they're purely episodic, and even then I don't usually do that. So yeah, I mean, overall, check out Lanterns if you haven't seen it. I really hope we do get a season 2 already, and I really hope this is the win that DC needs right after Supergirl. But yeah, let me see if I got anybody in the comments. No, does not look like I do. So yeah, this will be a shorter live stream than normal. I wait to see if anyone else pops on here in just a second, but if not, then, if not in the next minute or two, I'll just go ahead and turn off the live stream. Let's see, anything else? I guess the last thing I'll add about lanterns is, one thing, and this is not a critique with the actual show itself, but it's more of a personal preference. We have had, so I guess if you solely count the DCU projects, we've had Creature Commandos, Superman, Peacemaker Season 2, Supergirl, and now Lanterns. The only one out of these essentially 5 DCU projects that is kid friendly is Superman. And I mean, yeah, you could kind of argue Supergirl too, because it also has a PG-13 rating. But the thing that really I don't get is why James Gunn is skewing solely, like, it seems like he's trying to solely grab more mature audiences. And again, I'm glad that they're not afraid to experiment. I'm glad that we can get stories like Lanterns or stories like Peacemaker Season 2, Creature Commandos, where there's can be, it can appeal to more adult demographics. I'm glad that not everything has to be like the MCU and feel kid friendly and the same. But I also think, things should have the MA rating, the R rating, whatever, when it actually matters to the story. When I sit down to watch a show like Lanterns, I just don't personally understand why this couldn't have more broad appeal and be, more for older kids and teens. Like Hal Jordan saying the F bomb as often as he does, just I don't know. It just feels weird and kind of off putting. But I mean, again, I really like the episode itself. That's just, again, more of kind of, I guess, a personal critique. It's not that I have any, like, I'm not some prude or anything. It's just, I think the character of Hal Jordan, and again, loved Kyle Chandler's performance. I do think he's a really good Hal Jordan for what they're going for. It's just, I don't understand why they try to make John and Hal both like characters that a lot of kids in the 90s knew from the animated Justice League show, why they try to make them so adult geared. I just don't get it, but that's just a final thought that I had. But yeah, I mean, I guess speaking of which, I don't think I ever mentioned just how good Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre are in their respective roles. I mean, Aaron Pierre in particular fits into the role of John Stewart so well. So yeah, I mean, cast is great. All the stuff really works well. Let me look one more time, see if we have anything else. We do not, so I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream here. It's going to be a short one, guys, but that's okay. I'm sure you guys will all come and check this out at a later date. So yeah, just let me know if you guys are watching this later on. Just let me know in the comments down below what you think of the X-Men casting announcements, as well as what you thought of the first episode of Lanterns. And as always, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and I will catch you all later.